What's going on, everybody? This is Economic News Insights, and today we are going to talk about retirement savings. So, if you're one of the types of people out there who want to do some retirement saving, then this video is for you. Are you in your 30s or 40s and feel like you're behind on your retirement saving? Don't worry, you're not alone. This video is designed for you, okay? So, today I'm going to share 10 crucial steps, okay, you need to build retirement in the future. Okay. So if you're someone who's just getting started, I'm 42. I've been doing retirement planning off and on for quite some time now. And I'm here to share with you some important things. The very first thing is build multiple streams of income now, and then try to set those up to where you're having multiple streams of income later in the future. What I mean, if you were a firefighter and you are looking to get a retirement from that, that is one stream of income that you'll have in your retirement. Two, assuming Social Security is still there, that's a second thing. Number three, it could be that you own real estate and you've got two or three different properties, and those will be paying you into your retirement. I'm going to talk about how to use real estate a little bit later on as well. By the way, none of this is professional financial advice. This is how my mind thinks, and I'm sharing it with you. Okay. But another one would be ETFs or dividend paying stocks. For example, if you have savings in a cash account, you should probably consider putting it into something that's going to pay you a dividend. That's more of a conservative investment than, say, high volatility stocks like, I don't know, Tesla. Tesla is high volatility, right? Like one day it's 364, then it's back down to 299, like it was today, right? So something like the JP Morgan NASDAQ composite, it'll pay you maybe $100 a month if you've got $10,000 in there. But if you add more, say you put $100,000 in there, then you get a little bit higher dividend over time. Or you could be looking at the Vanguard S&P 500. It just depends on what ETFs are out there. You can even look on this channel and we'll give you some advice on that. But really, any sort of research is going to work. You can go on Google and research it or whatever you need to do. But the big thing is getting multiple streams of income. Obviously, right now, your primary job is one stream of income. Some of you might do side hustles. You might drive for Uber. You might drive for DoorDash. That's two. Then you might do some day trading here and there. Then you might have a little investment that you've made that pays you $200 or $300 a month. There's so many opportunities in this day and age with people using AI. It's like an AI economy. Really, people are really tapping in. So side hustles, rental income, dividends, online businesses. You guys should be preparing with at least 5 streams of income. And trust me, it can be done. Before I ever heard this, I had one stream of income. Now I'm up to well over 5. Okay. So you get the idea. So this needs to be something for now, but also later. All right. Some people, they even get so smart. They're like, I just have one thing that just keeps feeding my retirement account, right? They just have one side of one income that they've created out of thin air, that they just created out of nowhere. And that money just goes straight into their retirement. That's a great way to get started, right? Now, with your investment strategy, you should have a diverse investment strategy, right? So maybe you have stocks, maybe you have bonds, real estate, maybe you have ETFs, you're invested maybe in gold and silver, Bitcoin and crypto. Whatever you're doing, those things right there, you're trying to win like on more than you lose, right? So I would say a good ratio that I think is really realistic is 70-30. You win 70% of the time, you lose 30% of the time. What I'm saying is don't be afraid to get started because you're afraid to lose. The big thing is you're trying to win more than you lose. It's like playing football, right? The guy who scores the most touchdowns, he knows he's going to get tackled occasionally, right? He knows that some things are going to go wrong, but he's not scared to get out there, and that's why he scores the most touchdowns. So you can't be afraid to lose, but you have to have that mentality. You got to win more than you lose. Even if you start out and you're losing at first, that's okay. At first, you might get knocked down, dust yourself off, and try again. Keep trying, keep at it, keep learning, keep training, keep watching educational videos like this or other educational videos, self-help or whatever it is. But as time goes by, you want to reduce the risk and improve the stability. That's the main key, is you want to get better with time. So if one asset class drops, then you have another asset that's picking up. For example, if cash and inflation is stealing your purchasing power, then you have assets like stocks where that inflation is being put into those stocks or being put into gold and silver or Bitcoin. These are the things that people are doing in this day and age that are working, but you also want to be evolving with the times. So what works now might not work 5 years from now or 10 years from now. So you want to be adjusting and recalibrating. You want to be taking inventory of everything you have that adds up to your net worth. Okay, so taking inventory, maybe on an Excel spreadsheet, you know what you got. And then the big thing is, this is something that I'm going to have to really emphasize. Find out where your high interest debt is. Okay, some things that you can do. I mean, obviously, in a perfect world, you pay off all your debt, but that's not going to happen for most of us out there. You've got a little bit of debt. I mean, you want to be debt free. You want to have everything in the positive. It takes time. It can happen. I know that when I had debt, it was like a cloud over my head. I needed to pay it off. But some things that people do is they'll take all of their debt and they'll just consolidate it into a low interest loan. Okay. And then so maybe they had a credit card that was taking 18% or 24%. I mean, I've heard people are getting even higher than 24% interest rate. That's crazy. Okay. But you want to take those high interest rate and figure out a way to get it down. Okay. So maybe consolidate into a lower interest rate. If Trump, I mean, this is something that Trump said. He said he wants to see interest rates as low as 1%. I don't think that's going to be possible, but who knows? I don't know. The world's crazy these days. If he gets it down to 1%, that's a great opportunity for you to consolidate all of your debt, assuming that you have a good credit score. So that's another thing. Try to maintain a good credit score. Be on time with your payments. Take that stuff serious. You can use Credit Karma, and I think they give it to you for free, your credit report, whatever you're using for your credit report. But you want to maintain that so that when the time comes, you can consolidate all your debt into a low interest rate. So focus on eliminating the credit card debt, the personal loans first, and then getting away from the high interest rates. Always a good idea, right? And staying away from those moving forward in the future, because you want to free up more money for retirement savings later, right? Now, use high interest savings loans. You can actually get into this with your bank. Just call your bank, maybe JP Morgan or Bank of America, and say, what kind of savings account do you have that offers high interest rates? Okay, some of them might say 2 to 4%. Some of them might say something even higher. A lot of people are using Robinhood now for staking or for other high interest rate. You want to do your research before getting into that. I would say if you're going to get into high interest rate stuff on Robinhood or any of these platforms, whether it be SoFi or Bank of America, JP Morgan, who knows, watch a couple YouTube videos, do some research online, check ChatGPT, stuff like that. But store your emergency fund and have short-term savings in those accounts. Even the short-term savings should be in a high interest savings account if you can, because they earn better returns than traditional savings accounts. That's the big thing. And, fintech companies are really good at APYs. People are even doing it with crypto, with stable coins. They just passed a national stablecoin bill in the US. And then max out your retirement opportunities, whether you're in the military, maybe you're with the fire department, or maybe you're with an employer who offers traditional IRAs, Roth IRA, 401k. Take advantage, especially if you have an employer who will match it, because that's free money. Try to maximize that. Tax benefits, okay, are also in that. Those boost your savings. I mean, anytime you get a tax benefit, that's money in your pocket that would have been taken otherwise. So try and maximize those opportunities. And again, we can get into more financial literacy as time goes by, but these are the things, if you're in your 30s and 40s right now, you're in your middle age, these are the things you should be thinking about and knowing to get really prepared for this, right? It's kind of common sense. And, we all got common sense. That's why we're here. I mean, we're here making these videos because we have the common sense that says, I got to play it safe. I got to, plan this out. There's like different strategies. There's investing, and then there's speculating, and then there's gambling. Most people do about 80% investing, like 15% like speculating, and then like maybe 5% just for gambling, because they're just trying to find the next big thing that's going to, take it over the top, that's going to go 100x or something, right? But automate your savings, okay? Transfers make it to where $25 a month goes into your savings account, or $250 a month, or $1,000 a month. I don't know how much money you have on the side, but you can be putting that money into a savings account, high interest, or maybe even into the stock market. The thing with the stock market is you want to be in the top tier stocks, right? They call them the Mag 7. I think it's Apple, Nvidia, Google, Meta, the top ones. You don't want to get into the ones that are like, just topsy-turvy. You want to be in like Amazon and stuff typically, because those have been the ones that stay strong over time. Now, you want to get rid of the idea that you need to have all this extra cash. Saving cash right now is not a good idea, because that is just losing money to inflation. It's like a hidden tax. So you should have maybe $10,000 to $20,000 in savings. I mean, in checking, okay, available. But a lot of that money should be extra over that, should be in a savings account, maybe another 20 to 50,000. If you're not there yet, don't worry. You can be there, and you will be there. You have to believe it. You know it. If your mind can believe it, you will receive it, right? So you have to put yourself in that state of mind. And it's not as impossible as people think it is. It just starts with, going out in your backyard, drinking a cup of coffee, drinking a cup of tea, drinking some water, doing some exercise, maybe doing some like stretching, and just thinking, and writing it down. And then you get the ideas, and then you're just kind of like, okay, I've got my plan. That's what you're looking to do. Whether you go walking through a forest that leads to a beautiful beach view in Oregon or Washington, or maybe you're in the desert and you hike up a mountain, and then you get a great view and you look down into the valleys, or wherever you're at. Okay. But you got to do this stuff and write this stuff down and get these plans. This whole exercise here, this whole video is to get you thinking. But as time goes by, once you get more optimized with it, increase your contributions over time. But I would definitely be more conservative. In my plan right now, I would say I bought the JP Morgan NASDAQ composite. I think it's JPEQ, or I can't remember the exact ticker, but it's the JP Morgan NASDAQ stock. That only has gone up 10% since I bought it, but it pays a dividend, and it's like old man investing. It's not something that's going to go crazy parabolic. It's not like Bitcoin where it's going to go up and down. It's going to be stable, but on a 10-year horizon, that's going to likely go up. Same with the S&P 500 or whatever you're looking to get into, and something like that is something that you can easily scale into over time, right? Thank you to everyone who's smashing up the likes as we continue to get this video out to a larger audience. So the next thing is, avoid trying to be flashy. Like, what are the things that we do in our life that are just for other people and not necessarily for us? For example, I had a Cadillac one time. I wanted a Cadillac because it was fast, but then I realized, like, I also wanted a Cadillac because I thought it looked cool. And then I was like, well, do I want a Cadillac because it's fast and great car and it's a great machine, it's a great piece of equipment, or do I want it because it's flashy and I look cool? And it was a little bit of both. So then I said, well, all I really need is the piece of equipment that I'm looking for. So same thing with the Ford Raptor, a great piece of equipment, but also it's a little bit flashy. Could I get into something that wasn't as flashy? Do I need all of the, high-end stuff? Do I need designer brands? I mean, do I wear Nikes because it's a Nike, or do I wear it because it's comfortable? So looking at that, especially as you get into your 30s and 40s, and you realize materialism and vanity is over. It's superficial, right? Are you looking to be vain? I'm not saying that you shouldn't have good equipment. I think that's great, but you also don't want to be wasting money. You want to be a little bit more frugal, a little bit more thrifty, because you're trying to save for retirement, right? And you have to take into consideration things like your retirement with the healthcare costs, okay? Like, how are you going to pay for your healthcare as you get older? Do you have the money set aside for that? I mean, are you taking that into consideration as time goes by, right? Medical expenses can be a major cost, a part of the cost. One thing that I really like doing is buying real estate. And this is just an idea. What you can do is you can buy a house. Now, this is for people who are a little bit more savvy and thrifty, but you can buy a house, a second house. So you have your main house and then you have a second house, and you can actually rent it out. And on a 30-year horizon, let's just say you get a 30-year loan on that. Maybe your mortgage is $2,200 a month. And so you just rent it out to someone. Okay. And then maybe they rent it out for $1,800 a month because, right now you're running at a deficit of $400 a month, but it's where you want to live. You can't live there right now, but you're renting it out. And then so what you're doing is you're having someone else pay your mortgage. And then after 30 years, that thing's paid off and you can live in that rent free by the time you're 70. You get what I'm saying? So these are ideas of things that you can be doing right now. But I would say definitely as time goes by, everything's going to evolve. So make sure ever so often, whether it's monthly or every 6 months or every year, you kind of go through everything and you say, okay, this is something that's not working out, or this is something that is working out. Maybe you say, okay, I need to cut ties with this. I need to tax harvest a loss, because it's okay to take losses on things that are just going down, right? If something's going down, cut your losses, harvest the tax loss. You might need that at some point, right? Go into something that's moving. So cut your losses on things that you've held for maybe 1 or 2 years and they're just not performing. Maybe you could see like the trend is downtrending, move into something that's going up. And I do that ever so often, right? So get into stuff like that and make a habit of going through and consolidating, recalibrating your plans. But the big thing is going outside, visualizing your retirement goals. Do you want to live on a farm? Do you want to live in a place that's got a house and, dogs around, lots of animals? Or do you just want to live alone? Or do you want to travel? Maybe you want to travel. Maybe you want to live abroad. Things like that. Those are the things you need to be thinking about as you move forward. Thank you to everyone who crushed up the likes. 4 viewers, 4 likes. We're just getting started. I know it's early where you're at. Thanks to everyone. Good luck. Let me know if you have any questions. We'll see you on the next one.